So the Standard Bank Jazz Festival is now in its 34th year, a special jazz festival produced as a barometer of South African jazz. 2020 faced one of the biggest problems experienced by the world in a century with the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic, with nations around the globe literally shutting down for months. This year, the program is predominantly South African, and the list of performers represents much of the hippest new jazz coming out of South Africa at the moment, organizers say. And one of them is 14-year-old piano and guitar prodigy Justin-Lee Schultz, South African making it big in the US. He joins us now. Justin, hello. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
By the way, where are we talking to you? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Las Vegas. I'm in Nevada.
Oh, look at you. So, I mean, at 14, this is quite amazing, Justin. How did you make your name for yourself at 14? So when did you start making music? Straight out of the womb, I'd imagine.
I started making music when I was about 5. I was always around music since my dad's a jazz guitar player. And yeah, it all started since then.
And how long did you live in South Africa before you moved to the US? Because I'm also trying to understand who or what influenced your taste and your love for music other than your father.
So I was about 8 years old before we moved to the States. And yeah, I love South African music, and I still infuse it in my stuff today.
Okay. And what I mean, when we talk about a prodigy, I always, because I'm not one, I wouldn't really understand, but I always wonder, so what happens where you self-taught, having watched your father? Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Well, my dad's always guided me and, tried to infuse the right techniques or voicings or, chords and stuff like that into my playing. But when we moved to the States, that's when I got my first jazz piano teacher.
Mm-hmm. And the kind of music that you were exposed to that made you love playing the piano and the guitar?
It was like jazz and African music and, just all different types. We always listened to, like pop and gospel. So it was very open music house. So
okay, so share with me some of your favorites.
So my dad, Bob James, Herbie Hancock. I love Michael Jackson. Bruno Mars, Oscar Peterson, there's so many names.
And I'm asking this because you will be performing with Gerald Albright, who is himself a jazz icon. Had you been exposed to his music before? I'd imagine you would have.
Yeah, I started listening to his music when I was about 5, and I've been a huge fan ever since. So I'm really honored that he got to be on my album and play with me at the Standard Bank Jazz Festival.
Okay, and now COVID-19 has obviously been a very difficult time for many of us, irrespective of whether on the work front, on the personal front. How has it been for you, and has it impacted the way you make music?
It has definitely impacted the way I make music. When it first started, everything was locked down, and it seemed like the only thing I could do was, create and try to write. And actually, there's a song on my album called Quarantine, which was made out of, the whole pandemic. So it definitely has affected, the way we make music, the way we perform. But now that it's kind of opening up, I'm glad to, even though it's a little smaller, play live music again.
I mean, you have been praised for your technical capability, of which we'll see in just a moment. How important is that to you, just with regards to the art form and being recognized for that?
Well, it's important, and I'm really glad that people recognize me for that. And it's just all about practice and stuff. Yeah.
And your dreams for the future, just what you hope to achieve now that life is different. We're talking about a new normal, so that also gives us perspective on what we wanted before and what is now more important.
Yeah, so, goals for the future is probably just to make more music, just do what I love and, create and perform. So, yeah.
All right, so let's let you do that. Go ahead, Justin, play us a piece. Tell us what you're playing, by the way.
Okay, so I'm gonna play a piece of my dad's original called African Chant. It's the piano intro, and then I'm gonna go into something else.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool, awesome.
Justin, thank you so much for that, lifting our spirits, and all the best for the Standard Bank Jazz Festival, where you'll be performing. Justin-Lee Schultz is a 14-year-old piano and guitar prodigy, giving us a taste of what's to come, what you can expect from the Standard Bank Jazz Festival. Thank you very much, Justin. All right, that's Justin-Lee Schultz, who is in Las Vegas in the United States. All right, let's quickly remind